Hi, my name is Noel Davis with World Composting, and today we're going to take a look at our bin that has the hemp bedding in it. Now, it's been 21 days since our last update, which is a little longer than I expected, but I'm still trying to get back into that rhythm of checking them out every week to every other week, and let's see how it's doing. Now, I have left the cover off, which I had not done in the past, or at least partially off, not fully off, but I'd left the bubble wrap a little bit to the side. And we're going to see if it dried out a little bit and feels a little bit better inside, see if it needs water. We're definitely going to add some food, but we're going to go from there. So with that, let's go check out the system and see how it's doing. All right, this is exactly how I left the cover. We did our last feeding on this side over here. I wanted to keep that cover to keep the moisture in from it. And that was on 9/8. I think I put down 8/8 last time. It was 9/8, and today's the 29th. So that would be 21 days. And let's go ahead and take this cover off here and see how it looks. A little bit stuck on this side, but not too bad. Looks actually pretty decent. I'm not seeing many bugs in here, so which is a good sign. Although I don't mind if I see bugs. It just depends on what type of bugs I'm seeing. I don't see any fruit flies or anything like that, which is really what I was looking for. I do see a spider web over here, and I see a little spider right over here. I don't know if you can see him or not. Let me push this down just a little bit. There's a spider. He's running out of the bin right now. I'm just going to blow him away right there. And I've got the spider webbing on my hands. But anyhow, you can see the line where the top was, and you can see that there's castings deposited near the top over here, but there's really none over here. This is all drying out a little bit. We actually have these chunks that are very, very dry. So it was a little bit too dry maybe to leave it that long with the top off. Some of this feels pretty hard now. This little ball right here, I mean, it's really dried out. So we're going to have to put that back in the system and see if we can moisten it back up a little bit. But that happens on the sides too. There were things were dry out, but this center section looks great. Nice and moist. Actually, I can already see, look at that. You can already see worms on the top right here. It's a great sign. But let's just take a quick dive on this side first. First off, there's still worms on this side. That is a good sign. And there's actually quite a few, but they're just down there where it's moist, which it shouldn't be surprising. They like moisture. Lots of different size worms in here. It looks like there's some smaller ones too. That's a great sign. This area is very, very thin as it is dried out, but like you can still see, there's different size worms in here. Got our younger worms right there, if you can see them. There's a younger worm. And we've got our large worms that are falling through over there. So great start to this system. Already seeing, I mean, the material, as I said, is dry on top, but this underneath part is still moist. And this looks really good. That's a great sign. Great start to the system. Let's dig here in the center section here, which did have the cover on it. And you can see there are a lot more worms in this material here. And they do look a lot healthier, or not, I don't want to say they look healthier, but they look a lot more active. And again, we've got the multiple sizes going on and everything. But there's just a lot more, they're a lot more frequent. There we go, there's a nice little one right there. Little guy. All right, it's a great sign. Got still one stuck on my glove. Let's just keep going here in this center section here. Look at that. There's one. This is still, though, this is definitely feeling a little bit more sticky and tacky than this side was, which is what I was really trying to do. So it might be something where it'd be nice if I left this off for like a week or something, let it dry out a little bit. Although we are starting to get our cooler temperatures here, which will mean less humidity in the basement here, which means it'll dry out even faster. But I might need to do that just to kind of dry this out a little bit, just to make it so it's not quite so tacky. And the other thing I can do is I can add some more bedding to it, which will help soak up some of the excess water. And again, still lots of worms in here. It looks really good. This material is doing really a great job with the worms. They seem to really like it. It's not breaking down quite as fast as maybe some other materials would, especially like paper, but not quite as long as which. There we go. There's another little baby. So there's lots of little worms in here. Lots of the little wormy worms going around trying to find food and everything. That's a great sign. All right, now this is the side that we fed on. So let's go ahead. Oh, there's a fruit fly right there. There we go. I killed him. Oh, no, I didn't. There we go. Now I killed him. Nope, never mind. Still got away. Darn it. Slapped him a couple times and he's still there. All right, look at this. So this side is definitely a lot more moist. This is the side that we fed on. Fruit fly's coming around again. But you can see lots of different worms in here. Hold on a second here. Nope, still missed him. Just not quick enough. If it wasn't flying around me, I wouldn't care that much, but since it's flying right over top of me and on me and landing on my shirt, then I'm going to try to kill him. All right, so we can see the fresh bedding that I put in here. If you remember last time, I added some fresh bedding. And look at that. You can see the worms in there, but you can see the different coloring really well with this. I mean, you can just see very clearly what's going on here as the bedding does break down. And you can see that these wood chips even seem a little bigger and less soft, I feel, whoops, than the other bedding. I almost lost some of the stuff out of here. Let me just pull that back in. Oh, there we go. Sorry, some of it was falling out of the bin. Again, got some small little worms in here. Those look really nice, and we've got some larger ones over here. So good varieties of sizes. It means that there's food. They're expanding. They like what's the system, I think, since you've got a lot of larger worms. I'm not finding a lot of cocoons, which means that they are multiplying, and they're actually just continually hatching too. Because a lot of times, if things are bad, they will also multiply like crazy, and you'll see lots of cocoons, but they will typically don't hatch really, I've found. Like, you'll find a lot of cocoons, but you won't find any babies, and that's not a good sign. I've got a little bit of food left over right here, some sort of, looks like wax paper or something. There we go, right here. So that's some sort of wax or something like that was probably coating something that we threw in here. Again, lots of worms. I mean, look at this. Just a ton of worms on this side over here. And here we go. That looks like a fruit fly larva right there. So that is definitely not a worm, this white grub type thing right here. I think that's in view. It's right there. It's starting to move around again. That is definitely a fruit fly larva or something, so that we are going to get rid of real quick. Let me just find a place where I can crush them. There we go. I think I crushed them. It's hard to tell. All right, I think I crushed it. It's not moving anymore, or at least doesn't look like it to me. But that looks like fruit fly larva of some sort in here. There we go. Definitely dead now. Okay. But yeah, there were definitely some fruit flies in here. But this material looks really, really good. I mean, this is something I could still use in a garden, even though it's not fully composted, because the food is gone, the nutrients are there in the castings, and you actually have this nice material that would make it where it's not so overly, like, it's not going to turn into mud. If this were to dry out or get too moist, you do have air that's going to be able to get in there. So this is actually sort of a nice habitat for this type of material. So with that, let's go ahead and add some more food in here, although we do have the fruit flies. I'm just going to keep going with it. Here's another one of their grubs too, over there. There we go. See right there? There's another one that I just killed. So I'm surprised that they're like able to make it in here, although, I mean, I'm surprised I'm actually seeing them so clearly, because normally I could see maybe like, I don't normally find them very easily. So all right, we're going to go ahead and feed on this side. And this food, again, is frozen, but we're not going to add any fresh bedding this time. I'm just going to go ahead and clear this area out. And that's one of the things that, by the way, for my bins, I'm not clearing them out anymore. Like, or I don't want to say clearing them out, but I'm not stopping if I find fruit flies in them. There's just too many. With the hamster bedding bins, I'm having a lot of problems with fruit flies, and they seem to be living in the bedding without me even having it in the bin. So it's too hard to kind of maintain all of that. So we're just going to continually add food to these, and I'll just keep the fruit fly traps going here. So now this food that I have over here is very, very dry. It's been sitting in my basement freezer forever. It actually has some mold or something growing on it too. So we've got some banana peel. It's interesting. This doesn't even feel that cold really. It feels like so dried out. It feels like leather almost. But it's been sitting in this system for a long, the freezer for a long time. I don't know how long. It's probably been, at this point, it could have been months. So we're going to throw in just a whole bunch of this here. There's no moisture in this though, which is really strange. I think it's just slowly evaporated out of it, and it kind of froze, and then it just it unfreezes as it probably heats up a little bit, and then refroze, and after a year of sitting in there, it just sort of dried everything out. So there we go. We've added that in. I'm going to put on a mask now. We're going to add in our crushed crab and eggshell, although I do see lots of speckling in here. I'm still just going to continue to add this stuff. I find it to be just a good thing to have in the system in high quantities. There we go. Got some on my hands, but that's okay. All right, I got my mask on, as I said. So now we're going to go ahead and cover this back up. This isn't too cold, this material, so this should be okay. And we are just going to kind of spread this out a little bit. Now, this is still pretty moist. I'm not going to add actually any moisture to it. I think that we can just let them slowly work into that material, and that should add, it's going to dry it out actually a little bit instead of adding moisture, I think, this material. Make sure I get all the worms off of there. Trying to get all the worms off my gloves here. Don't want to leave this little guy on my glove. He's going to dry out if I do that. Come on. Come on. There we go. I think I got them all off. So no moisture this time. We're not going to add any moisture to the system. We're just going to let this food kind of dry it out a little bit more. We're going to put the top on, though, all the way and kind of keep it sealed. Now let's go ahead and put our date on here. And we'll just peel these off right here. I don't think we need these anymore. So I'm feeding every time that I kind of check on this system. I don't really want to stop feeding it. So we're just going to just cover it up the other one. But there we go. That's our update. We're going to go ahead and cover this up really well. And we can put this back on the shelf. With that, everyone, thank you for watching. If you're looking to buy this hemp bedding, I do have links down below to some websites that you can find all the Amazon links to everything that I use, such as these busboy bins and everything. And I encourage you to use those links if you're looking to purchase stuff. So thank you for watching. Again, if you have any questions, leave a comment down below.